Hello's my peoples who I never gives consents. Okay, that's something different. I said, okay, anyway, I haven't uploaded in forever, but that's because I'm editing this video. That should be a given rule, but whatever. I was gonna do this, and, oh, God. This is interesting. Okay, we're gonna watch this one because this, you know what, no, that doesn't even look the most clickbait. Probably the third one down. But anyway, we'll watch this one. This one I saw. And it has that YouTube fix your... Ladies people get demonetized for making good videos, but I was arrested by my dad. Doesn't get demonetized. Kill me. Oh, and it's a 12-second, it's a 15-second video. What is this?
Ford F-150 will tow up to 13,200 pounds of it.
It's made me even...
Oh, I was making a video on this, but, me being lazy decided, let's skip it. Alright, this guy looks guilty. What? Okay, anyway.
Hello, my name is Harry, and I was caught by the police. And my father was one of the policemen who caught me. My mom left...
You're gonna do something dumb when your dad's a cop. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're gonna do something dumb, make sure your dad's not a cop. Whatever.
Just when I was 5, and I've only seen her several times since then. I'm 16 now, and this whole time I've lived with my dad.
Okay, did he just say that his mom... What is it? Hold on. I
was one of the policemen who caught me. My mom left us when I was 5, and I've only seen her several times since then.
Okay. I feel like... Nah, never mind. But whatever.
I'm 16 now, and this whole time I've lived with my dad. He was and still is a policeman, and a very good one at that. I was very proud to say that my dad was a police officer when I was a kid.
Bro, I swear to God, my dad's stronger than your dad. No, my dad's stronger than your dad. And just kid comes up. If any of your dads fight, my dad would be there to break it up.
But I realized that it wasn't as cool as I thought it would be. He would always come home late and just watch TV. Every time I tried to talk to him, he would barely answer. More often, he would say 2 words like, yeah, okay. And that was it.
Bro, your dad works a 20-hour shift, and you're mad because he's tired.
Like, if I would ask him to help me out a little bit with my homework, he would say, figure it out yourself. I'm tired.
Yeah, it's reasonable. I mean, then again, this is all clickbait, but we'll forget that part.
By the age of 15, I kind of stopped talking to him because there was no point in it. He wasn't interested in anything that was happening in my...
Wait, hold on, but we're barely talking to him anyway. Hey, Dad, you help me with that homework? No. 2 words, and you're still considering that stalking, but okay.
Life. But it definitely had its advantages. I could basically do whatever I wanted because he was...
Yeah, I could throw wild parties that my dad might come and break up, so yeah.
Never home. I could invite my friends over or go hang out with them at any time.
And your dad wouldn't let you if he was home? You're 15 years old. And your dad say no. No, you cannot. You may not go to your friend's house because this is a lockdown ritual. Like, what?
Recently, my friend Jason got his driver's license, and his parents bought him
We're gonna be regular teens and go be stupid.
a used car. We live in a smallish town, so it was awesome to have a car. Now we didn't have to walk everywhere.
But if you live in a small town, can you just walk everywhere? I mean, like, think about it. Like, if you live, like, in New York, yeah, you want a car because, well, traffic's pretty bad, so maybe you wouldn't want a car. But you live in a small town, like rural Alabama. It's no more than a mile walk between your house and the store. Sorry, I get scam calls a lot. Anyway.
If we wanted to get a burger or something, it was just a 5-minute drive instead of a 20 to 30-minute walk.
How's your town big if it's literally a 30-minute walk to go to Burger King?
All 4 of us could hang out in his car as much as we wanted, listening to music and hiding from the cold of winter.
I mean, yeah, because, you know, me, when it's cold outside, I have a house. But, you know what? I go straight to the car. Like, that's just,
Loved this car. I also started learning to drive a little bit. Usually on
You know, just a tad. Well, that's the face of, yeah, no, I didn't know how to drive because I don't exist.
the outskirts of town. We got so used to the fact that we never got in any trouble that we started to overdo it a little bit.
I mean, maybe the fact you don't have a license plate, that might be something. This is a story that is 100% fake. I know they shouldn't have a driver's license. I'm still going to point it out, though. And, what? Your dad's a cop, so you go on the outskirts of town and go be stupid? Like, how do you what grade are you in? 3rd grade at 16 years old? What?
We would open our windows and speed around really fast, putting our heads out the windows and...
Okay, for the first car, you're not getting some Lambo from, like, when did this come out? When did this come out? What? Wow, I thought it was really old. Yeah, so, you don't get a 2019 Ford Explorer for your first car. And again, I'm assuming this is like a few years earlier, so we'll just say like 2015? You're not gonna get the, like, well, I mean, technically it takes place in real time because it didn't take place at all, but still. Yeah, I don't know how you're going that fast, but I thought the first car was like trash, like literal trash.
even putting our tongues out like dogs. We had this long main road in our town that went straight through and outside of it.
I was in a main road, there's like nothing on it.
It was incredibly straight and smooth, and there were barely any cars driving around our town at night. You see where I'm going with this, right? Once, Jason drove through it at full speed, and it was awesome.
Bro, if you have like a 1973 trashy... Okay, 1973 would actually be a pretty cool car to have. Okay, we'll say 2013 car. Full speed is like... You know, that actually would be pretty fast, I think. Like, I don't know, between... I guess. I don't know how you made it that far, because I feel like at that point your engine would just break.
Especially with the right music on. We were shouting and cheering all the way through the drive, and I begged...
This could be pretty real. Like, I mean, teenagers are freaking stupid. I'm not one yet, so... Well, I am, but, whatever. I haven't hit my stupid phase yet.
Jason, to let me do it myself one... The begging, he finally said yes.
Hey, man, can I drive your car? Nah, man, I can't really... I don't know, you don't have a license, I don't want to get in trouble, I don't want to lose my car. Please! Please! Well, man, you did beg and get on your hands and knees, so... Take my keys. What?
Although he really didn't want to let me do it.
So you manipulated your friend.
We drove outside of the city, and I took the wheel. My heart was pumping. I started the car.
Wait, how do you... You guys drive to the main road, take out the key, and put it back in? Yeah, let's go back 10 seconds.
Yes.
Said yes.
Although he really didn't want to let me do it.
So you got your milk.
We drove outside of the city, and I took the...
Wait, so you drove outside of the city, took the wheel, took the key out, and then put it back in? What?
wheel. My heart was pumping. I started the car. Soon, we were driving at full speed, with the windows open.
You can barely drive and you decide to go, yeah, let's like go 100 miles an hour. Like, are you trying to fly out your windshield?
Feeling the wind and shouting as usual. Even Jason got chill after a while and began to just enjoy the ride.
What they're showing is hills. Can you imagine someone driving like the wrong way on the road by accident or like swerves? You're going 100 miles an hour. That's not a good idea. How do you chill going 100 miles an hour? And they said with the right music on, so I'm assuming some freaking guy yelling. Now some freaking guy yelling. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, how do you chill?
But then, in an opposite lane, there was a police car. We flew
No way!
past it.
No way! That fake story had a police officer as you're going 1,000. Okay, 1,000 is obviously a stretch. Like 100 miles an hour?
But then we heard the sound of a police siren.
Oh, bro, those stupid cops, bro. I'm only going 100 miles an hour. Leave me alone.
And saw police lights behind us. I panicked and started to slow down. Jason got very nervous,
This is like if Reddit was fake.
saying, "What are you doing? Don't slow down." "What do you mean, don't slow down?"
Your dad's a freaking cop. And you don't slow down when you're being chased by the cops. This isn't fake, guys. This is real.
I asked. Jason continued, "If my parents find out about this, they will take away my car, and I don't know what else. Just drop."
I'm sorry, Mom. Yeah, I was driving my car, okay? I was driving fast, but can't get mad at me. I ran from the police, so you cannot take away my phone in my car, okay? Listen to me. Mom, stop. I ran away. That's... You're supposed to stop when the police pull you over, not run away, bro. Isn't that what gets you in more trouble? I don't understand people who run from the cops. Like, yeah, sure, run away from the cops. You get in more trouble. People are actually stupid. Even though this isn't real, but whatever.
I couldn't believe it. I tried to say that this was incredibly illogical and that we would probably get into even more trouble.
You ran to the cop and you still... Oh my god. You're on the steering wheel. Yeah, no, this is stupid. As you're driving, that's a little too late. You go faster, they go faster. The chase is on, buddy.
Especially if it was my dad. But Jason and the other guys continued to shout, "Drive!" So I did. I sped up.
You're actually dumb. You're actually dumb. Like, I can say this because he's not a real person, but either way.
And turned our car into one of the smaller streets, and then I slowed down again because there were a lot of cars parked. Jason got nervous again and said, "Dude, get out of the driver's seat. Let me drive."
Should have done that the first time they pulled up on you, bro. Unlicensed driver gets pulled over. Why were you speeding? Oh, I don't have a license and I'm an immature teen.
I did what he asked. We got out of the car in order to change seats. All of us were scared, and we kind of knew that we were doing something really stupid. But we had no choice but to commit to it. As I'm sure you've already figured out, our daring escape didn't really work out in the end. A police car stopped behind us, and 2 policemen got out of it.
If I stop behind you, you can still keep going at this point. But
of course, one of them was my dad. He looked at me, and I looked at him.
That's instant karma for you being a freaking moron.
I saw anger in his eyes, although he tried to remain calm. For some time, we just looked like that at each other, nobody saying anything. I started, "Dad, I can explain. We were told to wait in the car, but our windows were open, so we heard what they were saying." The other officer said,
I
"Come
didn't tell you to roll through the window? Okay, buddy.
on, they're just kids. Let's just give them a warning so they won't do it again." But my dad said, "They have to learn responsibility." So all my friends' parents were called.
I mean, that's kind of fair, bro. You're gonna be stupid. You're gonna get your phone. You're gonna get in trouble. Like, seriously. Like, the dad's supposed to be in the wrong, bro. I mean, technically, okay, well, let's just...
Jason's parents took away his car. But otherwise, we were basically
No, you got a speeding ticket and his parents were mad. Worst parents ever.
given a speeding ticket, and we were sentenced to several hours each of community service, where we had to clean up
Worst judge ever. I was only speeding.
our
Like,
park.
these guys are the definition of teen. Like, bro, I only knocked down 17 houses. Why am I getting put 17 years in prison? Like, it's only 5, okay? It's only 12, okay? It was more. I'm sorry. Like, guys, I don't think that's just a bad punishment. At least you didn't get, like, fined or, like, your license revoked.
And stuff like that. I apologized to Jason, and we were able to laugh about it
Bro, you manipulated your friend. So, yeah, you should say sorry.
later. The fact that we tried to drive away was mostly ignored because it was our first offense. But it got very awkward with my dad. He wouldn't let me go anywhere and was watching me.
Worst dad ever. I got grounded after speeding. Oh, also, can I mention, why did he have to do community service? He was in the car. Imagine getting kidnapped. Okay, so just imagine getting kidnapped, and the guy, and you're old enough to get fined and stuff. And the kid the driver is just speeding like really fast to get away from the cops. They finally pull him over and they're like, Johnny, you got $200? He was speeding. You also have to pay that fine. Like, is that how the law works?
More closely than usual. So, like, from 100% stern to 150%.
How's he 100% stern if he's never home?
I was angry at him and even...
Why are you mad at him? This is the type of kid to be like, officer. It was only 7 cars I destroyed, okay? 7. And only 1 person got injured. Maybe 2 people got injured. So why am I getting in trouble? Like, this is so unfair. Like, oh my god. Because the dad knows it's his friends, but legally he shouldn't get it. It's fine. So if you're being, it's just stupid, bro.
Up saying hello to him. It was worse than it was before. One evening when he was out
Jog around and you're still allowed to go on your laptop, bro. That doesn't seem too bad.
Work, he came to my room and said, "Get dressed. Let's go." I asked why, but he didn't answer. I was very scared of what he was going to do next.
Bro, I just chuck you over the cliff, bro.
I couldn't even argue or try to argue because his face was very serious. I got dressed and sat in his car. We drove inside.
Okay, if it's night, why do you need to get dressed? I couldn't tell you how many times I've been, like, on a Saturday morning, I've been to the store with my pajamas on or something.
Needless to say, this made me even more nervous. Suddenly, we stopped outside a burger joint. We went inside and he asked me what I wanted to eat. I was surprised. We ordered...
Just walk into a Burger King, bro, you're like, what could we be doing here? Your dad says, hey, what do you want? What? Mind blown, dude.
Burgers and started to eat. After a very long and awkward silence, my dad said, "Don't do that again." I nodded.
What did he do, though? Yeah, don't be in the backseat of a speeding vehicle, son.
Then, after another long silence...
Because if you think about it, how did they, like, if they were going by so fast, how did they know that his kid was in the front seat? Also, you've been left off pretty easily. Just saying.
He asked, "How are you?" I looked at him and said, "Fine." Then, after another long silence, I started talking again. I told him all about community service and how much trouble my friends got into. Then talked about school and everything that was on my mind. He would sometimes ask something, but mainly he just listened. Afterward, I asked him, "And how are you?" He smiled for a second and then told several funny stories from his work. We drove home. It was silent again. He said, "Let's do this again sometime." I agreed.
Oh, it's a regular father and son relationship. That should be a good thing. Like, I would assume it's a good thing, right?
And, I guess that's the end of the story?
You mean the end of the fake story? That one makes sense. Alright, I just want to touch on a subject because I'm kind of forced to if I want to get another video on it. And, here, we'll just... Here, let's go to this channel right here. And, oh, buddy, this guy brags a lot. Okay, so he definitely has more subs than me, but there's a reason. Oh, also, let's look straight from 2012. Look at this. Alright, sub for sub live stream. Oh, wow, this is literally 2012. Alright, sub for sub. What? Sub for sub. So, yeah, he really does a lot of, live streams like this. He says that it's improved, and I think it now just looks like he went back, like, 8 years to when I was... I can't do math. When I was, like, 5. But, like, seriously. This looks straight from 2012. Also, all these are stolen. I know it. I've seen these before. So, yeah. I just want to touch on that. This is his intro, which, I don't have an intro. But, he argued with me when I told him... Oh, he said it took 9 hours. It took me 2 hours. I argued... you know what? Never mind. It's so like it's every YouTuber, like every small YouTuber that you see. But this is his entire channel, and then this is his first video. This is his first video. These obviously aren't his clips. If you go down to the he turned off the. Okay, so this is new. He's actually turned off the comments. I'm kind of gonna say something. But yeah, I turned off the comments. There's a bunch of people like saying things that like, oh, these are my friends or whatever. So I guess he got salty and they don't want people to know that they're not his, even though he's trashing Fortnite. Like, his streams are always loading for me, probably for me at least. But yeah, that's just really it. What's the time at? 2:30. All right, so I'm just gonna do 2:40 because that's aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, that's gonna take a lot of time. That in. All right, peace.